Smash the wife.
Blog Talk Radio.
Big floppy donkey.
Warning. Warning.
Welcome to the 2-minute warning. Where sports fans sound off.
I'm trying to blow your mind. I'm talking literally blow your mind. I'm trying to blow your mind. I'm talking literally blow your mind.
What's up, party people and fight enthusiasts alike? We're back with the 36th episode of the Pride Rules MMA podcast, sponsored by 2-Minute Warning. We got Omar, we got Tommy, we're Sans Chris, and I, of course, am Carl, back with the 36th episode. Did I say that twice? Oh, well, whatever. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. We are back. Got a big show today, a lot of fights to discuss. I'd like to formally announce, I'm very hugely happy and impressed with Mr. Desir, the Featherstone's impressive knockout win. He kind of called it. No one could stand with his hands, and that dude delivered pretty swiftly on the Bellator card. I'm sure, Omar, you were watching that, and Tommy, you were like, that was pretty vicious, right?
Oh, my God. He killed that man.
Dude's a savage. Dude's a savage,
him.
bro.
He's
I love
really
it.
good.
I love it. So we got the huge Bellator card to discuss. It was like a Bellator card and then a pay-per-view card on top of it, even though there wasn't too many fights on the one card. But it was still an entertaining night for fighting if you happen to catch it. And then obviously Sunday night we had the Fight Night 112 with a couple of fights to discuss in itself. We got some controversy to talk about. Mario Yamasaki, instead of letting somebody die this time, actually stopped the fight too soon. And as Dana White puts it, stop making fucking hearts like a 12-year-old girl and start reffing a fight. Gotta love Dana for saying that. It's true, though. I mean, come on, Yamasaki. What are you thinking there? It might have happened 10 seconds later anyway, or in the next round, but still. Wait for the guy to stop.
You know what, though?
If
the guy stops it early, Dana bitches. If the guy stops it late, Dana bitches. I think it's safe to say that the older Dana gets and the more he drinks, the more he bitches.
Dude, he was 10 inches from the fucking arm. He was 10 inches from the rear naked choke, and he called it a tap. I don't even understand what he was looking at, but you're not wrong. Dana does bitch a lot, but that's basically his job, to bitch when there's controversy so the fans get on UFC's side, and, before there's a media uprising or an uproar with fans just, blasting the entire corporation on social media. He puts out a statement like that, and everyone kind of rallies behind it. It's not stupid. It's smart. He kind of just sides with the fans, so it is what it is.
Yeah, well, Mario Yamasaki's dad is a fan of ours and likes our stuff on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm not saying anything against Mario. Not going to happen.
He is a respectable referee, and I know he's got a tough job because I actually reffed a flag football game once, and, I was playing in the league for years, thinking I knew every rule. The second I started to ref, I almost got into a fight with 5 people on both teams, so it's harder than it seems. You got a split second to make a decision. These guys are trained well, but come on, man. 10 inches from that
He's better than
pseudo-tap that
Evil
he called.
He's better than Evil Levine, so just leave it at that.
Is officially the worst referee I've ever seen in my life. I know I could do a better job than him. I know it. Right now, if I stood in the cage, if I didn't get too starstruck, I would do a better job, but I probably wouldn't.
I think the real story with Sunday night is somebody having belly problems.
Stop it. We're going to get to that. Stop it. I don't want to bury the lead here. We are going to get to that. Someone supposedly took a shit in the Octagon, but
it wasn't supposed that she took a shit. She took a shit.
You're still on that supposedly tip.
Supposedly took a shit. No way it happened.
There was Dookie in the center of the Octagon, and it was fucking hysterical.
I know. Derek Lewis, unretired, said he was in the heat of the moment. Khabib only wants Ferguson, and Ferguson only. He won't fight anybody else, and Felice Herrig had some things to say about the UFC, some choice words. And, SBG, we're going to touch on real quick. They complain saying that they're at their best when people mock them, which I don't understand really what that is. Who's really mocking them? They're saying your guy doesn't have a chance to beat the best boxer in this era. That's not a mock. That's just people talking reality. It's stupid. But whatever. We'll touch quickly on that. And finally, before we start getting into the fights, I want to officially say that Pride is dead now. Can we put a stamp on that? Pride has officially died.
Never die. Never. Pride never dies.
Pride never dies. But still, Vanderlei just got beat. That's it. And there's not much more there that we could discuss. I guess we could start with. What do you want to start with, Bellator or UFC, guys? Let's start with the UFC fight night. It's a little lesser of a card. I figure we can knock it out and get out of the way, and then we can get to the bigger and better fights where there was more things going on. But I wanted to talk about Dominic Reyes. It was his UFC debut. He took on Joaquin Christensen, and he basically beat this dude with like a vicious flurry of punches. It really was the straight left that knocked the dude out. But then he kind of like followed up with some ground and pound. It was within 30 seconds of the first round, so he definitely didn't let the fight even get going before he took it to him. Looked really good in his debut. Do we see this guy going anywhere, or was it just a case of doesn't really fight against much talent, or you know, his competition wasn't that stiff? So
you said it was his debut, right?
Yeah.
You said it was his debut, right? You
It was
can't
his
chalk it
debut.
up to that. You can't chalk it up to that, because if that were the case, then Sage Northcutt would be undefeated right now.
Oh, no. Oh, Christ.
You know, you
This guy.
see, but you see right away, this is what we as fans do. Somebody has a good showing, and automatically it's like they're the guy. Yair Rodriguez. Sorry. You know, it was an impressive showing. That's all you need to say. It was an impressive showing.
The win wasn't a product of him making his UFC debut. I'm saying, you know, it is his UFC debut, and he looked really good. It was the first chance we really got to see this guy in, like, you know, a real professional setting. That's what I'm talking about.
But
if he would have lost because it was his debut, he would have let the lights get to him and shit like that. So that's really how we're going to make the comparison. I'm just saying, like, I think the guy he fought wasn't really shit. So, yeah, he looked good, but it really is a product of who you're fighting also. Mix that with a little bit of skill.
If it was Joaquin Hansen and this was at lightweight and this was maybe like 10 years ago, that would have been a much stiffer test. Good old Hellboy, one of my favorite guys from the Pride era. Thank you very much. But
well, I mean,
I think
you can't always judge it off that, though. You know, because I mean, Aaron Pico lost his first fight, and according to Omar, this guy is the second coming. So you can't.
He is.
You just gotta take it one
We'll
fight
discuss
at a time,
him
man.
too. You love stepping all over the stories that are coming up. I love it. You and Chris, man. Jesus Christ.
I love how like you set out a table with a meal plan, right? And he's like, I want dessert first. Tommy's just like, I'm gonna go straight for the after dinner mince, and then I'm gonna have the salad. Like you lay it out.
It's too early. It's too early to talk about, you know, the guy's future. It was he got his first win in the UFC.
I just said, do you think the guy has a future?
He's also beat everybody else by, like, I'm looking at a stat here. I'm not pulling this out of the top of my head. I'm looking at a website. So, you know, full disclosure, I don't want to sound that amazing.
No. Good.
He's only been in the cage for 1:49. Like, this guy fights like he's double parked, for God's sakes. He's a former football player. Like, he has potential ceiling. I mean, do we know where he trains out of, though? Like, that's my one indicator of, like, is this guy going to be potentially super legit, or if he's just facing tomato cans? That's my only thing.
Well, I
can't find
what scares me with that, with the 1:49, is how will he do?
We're talking about Dominic Reyes still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Tommy.
How is he going to fare going into the second and third rounds? You know, since he's getting out of there quick, does he have the gas tank for it? You know, that's all the stuff that makes you wonder, because that's what makes the best the best. They can go the length of the fight without, you know, maybe, I wouldn't say not getting tired, but not getting tired enough to lose a fight, you know, like a Melvin Gillard kind of person or something.
I like where your head's at, Tommy. Thank you. By the way.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with discussing a fighter who has such limited time in the cage, because, I mean, you really don't know until a guy gets dragged into deep water. Like people say, oh, you know, Conor lost to Nate, this, what, that, in the second fight. I give Conor so much credit for digging deep and bringing that fifth round back, or, you know, or fighting the way he did later in the fight. Like, that's a fight that Nate should win almost every time, because of who Nate Diaz is and because of what Conor has done in his career. Hasn't really been tested much besides the Max fight and somewhat in the Chad Mendes fight in terms of length and longevity into a fight. So, being that he went the distance, you got to give him credit for that. And the fact that this guy's only had less than 2 minutes in a cage, that really speaks against him if you want to like look at it. But hey, if he's doing this in a couple years when he's somewhat in the top of the rankings or fight, once he's ranked, if he's still doing this, then I'll give him credit. I think it's a little too early to crown him yet, but it is.
We saw the same thing. We saw the same thing with John Jones. Remember, like he was blasting through people, and rightfully so. We reserved judgment until he got taken into the later rounds.
It was a completely different
putting
story.
It on people. Yeah, and he still came. Obviously he still proved his mettle, I believe. So Tommy's got a fair point, but I think he's somebody to get excited for. I know light heavyweight needs this. Good God, do they need younger people? They need people below the age
Dominic
of
Reyes.
AARP. Like, right?
Dominic
like,
Reyes. Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, he fights out of Cobra Kai Fitness. It says here. I'm looking on Wikipedia, like
so
full
he's
disclosure
part of,
as well.
Joe Stevenson's team then.
Right?
Daddy's
Didn't Joe
team?
Stevenson change teams?
Ooh.
Recently?
I think he has his own team. His family just holds mitts for him because he has 45 children.
Because
And I think they all
like,
just help him work out.
Maybe Tom Galicchio came to fight with him. I know that them two are like buddy now after the Ultimate Fighter, and they fight under the same camp. So I don't know who left whose team to go where, but I think now that I think of it, I think Joe Stevenson. Yeah, it is Joe Stevenson on Cobra Kai Fitness. I think he went to go fight with Stevenson, Galicchio, but it's neither here nor there. I mean, it's.
Is that still Mark Lehman's place, Cobra Kai, like out there in Vegas? Is that the same Cobra Kai that I'm thinking of? Remember Mark Lehman?
I don't know.
Used to run a spot called Cobra Kai, and he used to embrace the heel
role. He fights
role.
out of California, Victorville, California. I don't know if that necessarily means anything.
Mark Lehman, the guy that Matt Serra bitched out on fucking national television during the Ultimate Fighter.
I fully remember that, and I loved it.
Me too.
So did I.
That was great.
The guy was a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
An absolute piece of shit, and Sarah called him out.
Love Matt Serra. So Dominic Reyes, the book's still out on him. We'll see what happens in let his career get some depth before we start talking about if he's the next coming or whatever. I was just curious to see what you guys thought because, while the fight looked good, you never know. I just wanted to get the experts' opinions on this. And since you two are the expert, I figured I'd ask you. Dennis Seaver defeats BJ Penn via majority decision. Good night, BJ Penn. Sticks to your awful unconfirmed blog posting. I mean, Jesus Christ, BJ Penn, what the fuck? You look like he looks like old man baby. Like, it's so pathetic. I hate this guy. I don't know why I hate him so much. I really don't know why, but I hate him. I don't know, whatever.
I hate that somebody
Seaver,
keeps letting him fight because he's going to pull a Tim
right.
Hague soon. I hate to say that,
I mean,
but something's
it's weird.
going to fucking happen.
First it was Japan that invaded Hawaii. Now it's friggin' Germany that invaded. It's like, what the hell's going on?
God. Oh, my Lord. The Axis powers
didn't
are
Mexico
turning
invade Hawaii between there? Mexico invaded Hawaii between there, right?
Oh, my God. There's a Panther attack in Hawaii.
But, and
Seaver, you're going nowhere. BJ Penn, what the fuck, man?
And the
Seaver
incredible shrinking Dennis Seaver, first off. Can we address that for a quick second? Holy shit.
Well, I mean, he dropped weight, but steroid era is over. So.
Dropped weight?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean,
he looks like
55.
He looks like he's Benjamin buttoning. Like as he gets older, he's getting smaller and becoming a child. Right? Like he lost his man muscle. He's aging in reverse for fuck's sake. But he's more stiff. How?
I don't know why Dana keeps letting BJ fight. Like, stop it.
Because I think he secretly hates BJ as much as Carl does. I think deep down inside he's like, "Fuck you, BJ." You went to Japan. You took all your hype with you when you could have carried the lighter weights. I had to scrap the entire division because you left. And now that you're back, I'm going to see that you get beat to shit.
But BJ's fucking up his own legacy. Like, after a while, it's 5 losses in a row. That's 5 in a row. You're sitting on your legacy now.
And isn't it like it's like 1 or 2 out of the last 10 or 11 that he's won? It's something absurd. Like even going beyond that 5, which is horrible in and of itself. But you go further back, and the trend is still disturbing. Cut it out.
I mean, after the Frankie fight, he should have stopped.
Oh, my God, yes.
Frankie did to him, he should have stopped.
Remember when he had that that zombie like hands out to the side looking like a Super Punch Out villain or some shit, or like
this is a
Knockout
guy
Kings bad guy?
This is a guy at one point that what the hell is that boxing trainer that works a lot with GSP? He's got Parkinson's.
Freddie Roach.
Freddie Roach. Thank
Yeah.
you. Said that
Well.
BJ had the best boxing in MMA at one point.
Yeah.
And it's just gone. It's gone.
He got
It's
bit by a
over.
Lone Star tick, I think, and then Lyme disease has just wiped out
God.
his entire. I think something's. What are you?
I mean,
what else?
it's like when it's like when Joe Louis was still fighting at his age
Oh.
when Marciano beat him within an inch of his life.
Or
like,
Ali.
It's over.
Like what Larry Holmes did to Ali. Remember that? Finally, like
Yes.
once they finally fought in the ring, not Ali was paying him to get beat up. Like once he took the gloves off, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's like BJ's going to get to that point where he's just going to talk like Riddick Bowe soon enough.
Which
You
is
know what I
You know what it's like?
pretty
It's like
terrible.
Joe Namath when he played for the Rams, like almost to Brett Favre. I know Brett Favre had success, but when he played for the Vikings at the end of his career, it's like it's almost got that feel to it, where the guy like goes switches teams and he just doesn't look the same late in his career, and he completely shits all over his own legacy and just like ruins everything he did in his early career.
Did
I think I'm
O.J.
pretty sure I
Simpson
just
do
hate
that?
him because of the blog.
Did OJ
That's
do that?
really
though?
what it is.
Didn't
What
he
happened?
he played for the Bills and then he went to play for another team and he sucked, didn't he? Like towards
What was
the
that?
later stage of his career. O.J. Simpson. Did he do this, or did he play his entire career with the Bills? You tell me. You're more of a football like aficionado. I want to say, didn't he go
O.J.
play for the Chiefs at all? I don't know.
I don't think he
might
played
be
for the Chiefs. I'm
embarrassing.
not getting anything. I
Okay.
really don't think
Okay.
so. I could
Oh,
be
he
wrong
just
on
played
this.
for
I'll
the
look it
Bills.
up.
He just ended up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And he was a
murdering
Hall
later
of
parts
Famer
his
with a
career.
butcher knife, apparently.
Oh my
Jesus
Lord! Jesus. Ron Goldman, shout out to Ron Goldman. Come on, man, you can't.
Terrible.
You can't. Oh, rest in peace, man. Jesus. The inspiration for the Wayne Brady skit, but an actual person. Shout out to O.J. Simpson. God damn it. That's
But yeah,
fucking terrible.
it's
Oh my
gotta
God,
be
he
done.
played for the 49ers late in his career. Holy shit, you're right.
That's what it was.
He played 1
I
year
knew
with
it
the
was
49ers. Yeah.
some red team that played shitty.
Yeah,
like
good
that.
for you, Omar.
The
Yeah.
real
And I'm a
vacuum.
49er fan. Go figure.
BJ really needs to just stop. I mean, stop it.
Yeah.
No,
And
he
not
should
even
do
go
like
to Bellator.
no, he
Not
should
even
do
go to
EDI.
Bellator. Just stop.
Like
No,
Submission
retire. Stick
Underground.
to your blog.
Submission Underground. Yeah, that rag.
Please.
that
Please, right.
that
Our
diaper.
fucking website's better than that.
Oh my god! I'm telling you that thing is just a fucking joke. Anyway,
You
no.
always forget about BJ's ground skills because he barely uses it. I mean, he used it in the Joe Daddy fight.
Submission Underground.
So,
EBI.
yeah,
But
and
there's
if he
so many
wants to
things.
punch people in the face, he could do the combat jiu-jitsu and just bitch slap people.
Yeah, but
whatever.
he shouldn't because he'll be on the receiving end of it. I want to see him bust out a leg lock before I even endorse his move to a submission only. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
Right.
might be too old school for his own good. You know,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
hope
gonna-
this is it. I really do. I hope Dana doesn't put him out there again.
Whatever.
I mean, does it
If he
even
does,
sell
maybe we'll
tickets?
see the first death in the UFC.
Yeah. No, you know what? The you know where we're gonna see him again, guys? The Max Holloway card that they're gonna have. Like if they ever have it over in Hawaii, they're gonna trot his carcass out. He's gonna be a Trojan horse full of broken dreams and
Well, what they
fan
could do is
aspirations.
they could have him fight Matt Hughes again.
Oh,
That'll work.
oh no.
Matt Hughes.
Oh Christ!
Oh, God.
Oh,
Stop
my
it with
God,
that.
from the
That's so
hospital.
horrible. The guy's
It
in a
is
fucking
horrible.
coma.
Why am I
Well,
laughing?
yeah, and
though? That's what's bad.
So the fight would be somewhat fair since BJ fights like he's in a coma. So
Oh,
you know what I
my
mean?
God.
It would be a decent
Moving
enough
on
fight.
to the Felice
Yeah.
Herrig Justine Kish fight. Jesus
God bless you,
Christ.
Tommy. Please be safe. on the
Also
road,
known,
Tommy.
this fight was
You're
earlier
not
alluded to
making
by
sense.
Tommy. He should have a lot of fun with this. The Poopgate fight. Justine Kish was.
The shittiest fight of the night.
Oh my God. That's saying a lot. 'cause
Felice won.
BJ
Felice won
stunk
via
it up.
unanimous decision. Let's put it out there. Felice, I love you. You're beautiful. You look kind of like my ex-girlfriend with like more ripped body, which to me is fucking. I love it.
And she
but
likes
it is
mud
what it
masks,
is.
apparently, right? She's into mud masks to
You
conserve her
know what it
beauty.
is? Justine Kish fucked up by posting the thing saying shit happens. She like tweeted the link with the picture saying shit happens. It's
No.
clearly not shit because she put her ass on the mat right after they like brought him up after the bell rang for the last round,
Okay,
and there
Carl.
was no mark on the ground. So let's
Okay,
just
Carl.
let's just stop
Carl.
where we're going right
Hold on,
now.
Carl. if she goes, shit happens, and she acknowledges that, yeah, I kind of pooped my pants, let's just let the woman have taken a shit in the octagon. You know what I mean?
It's not like it doesn't happen, Carl. Yes, it's embarrassing, but
Of course.
it happens.
It's a fight.
You know,
it's not tiddlywinks.
Well, it's not that, but if you're on the bottom, you're trying to push hard and you tighten your stomach. You'll either fart or you'll
I know
shit.
what you're talking. You're 100% right. I get it. The dude farted that one time in that jiu-jitsu. There's a jiu-jitsu highlight where the dude farts, the other dude on top of him throws up right in the ring. Right
Yeah,
in
because he's getting triangled, and then he gets farted on at the same time. That's just that's intentional.
It was like the 50-50 position, like the north-south position. I mean, and he's looking at it as like in his crotch.
Then it's something. But like, no, that's even worse. There's no other thing to breathe in other than fart juice, basically.
Except the crotch of your. It already stinks down there, and you're smelling a fart. By the way, this is the second week we've talked about shitting in the Octagon. I just want to say that. Omar, was you last week?
You're just getting that muffler stench right in your grill. That dirty muffler everywhere.
But hey, at least she had a good sense of humor about it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give it to her. Right. And I felt bad for her until I realized she tweeted the link. I really felt bad for her for a while. I'm like, this girl's going to get the worst pub.
Just could be like, yo. And then you know what? You know what was going to happen? I knew where he was going with it. He's going to slide into her DMs, be like, baby girl, I got you. Listen, everybody else is saying that you're shitting on the place, but I know you wouldn't do that because you're a good girl.
I'll still put my nose right there.
Did you say slide into her DMs?
Exactly.
Slid out of her ass?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, let me replace what you love.
Anyway, congrats, Felice, who after the fight was like emotional at the press conference, saying that she's not young and beautiful enough to be promoted by the UFC. Honey, you're not really a top contender yet. I mean, you might be now going forward, but to this point, the UFC really doesn't promote people like that who are middle of the road unless they have like that. I'm an up and coming superstar who's yet to be, tested at this point in my career. So I don't know why she's complaining. I mean, to me, she is beautiful and she seems young. I mean, she's younger than me, that's for damn sure. So that's all I care.
If she was a quarter horse, they would be checking her teeth, Carl. I think she's getting up there in years. It's terrible. It's just it's starting to. Is
she right? What she's talking about? Do you guys agree that the UFC doesn't promote women unless they were young and beautiful?
1,000%.
Her horrible.
I really envy her jawline. That's all I'm gonna say. There's some photos out there that really make her look super suspect. So I really don't think you can do a Dancing with the Stars type situation for her, right, guys?
Wait. So when I say that I'm in love with her, you guys are making fun of me behind my back? You don't think she's hot?
No, I'm doing it to your face. I'm a little concerned, Carl. Like, where's this coming from? Like,
she's
it's fine.
pretty. It's just, you know what it is? She didn't make herself look good on the Ultimate Fighter show. She kind of cried and whined a bit and said everybo's picking on her.
She did, but I'm all about a girl who has sexuality and flaunts it. I kind of think that's hot. Like, she's like, like, that's kind of my style. Like, if I saw her at a bar, I'd be like, yeah, we'll bang, and I'll rock your world. Like, I'll be confident, and she seems like that same type of person. So we'll have some fun with that. So
I love how you just said it nonchalantly.
Yeah, but
we'll bang, I'll rock your world.
She says that, but they'll promote Cyborg, who looks like someone threw shit at a screen in front of her face.
Thank you. And Amanda Nunes.
Cyborg has talent. That's why, because Cyborg could beat men. Cyborg could actually beat dudes. That's
because she is, but that's besides the point.
That's fine. I'm pretty positive.
I swear to God, once we go mainstream and get like on the fucking, the media circuit level, you're going to be cut from the show, dude. We can't let this guy stay on the show.
What's he going to do, hit me at a UFC retreat? It would be okay if I press charges. I'm not a professional.
Oh, man. He's coming with us.
No,
rattling them all.
If you hit her back. That's how much of a man she is at that point. Like, it's technically okay if you were, if you slipped and gave her
got nards.
Oh my God, the old Monster Squad. Monster Squad, baby. Love that movie.
This is getting off the rails quick, and I love it.
Yes. Anyway, Tim Bosch, the guy who continues to surprise as like a middling, taking on a guy who he should lose to but winds up beating, defeats Johnny Hendricks. Not to say that he should have lost to Johnny Hendricks, because who the hell is he making his second fight at middleweight? But, he defeats Johnny Hendricks.
Hold on, no, wasn't the weight at 205?
What did I say?
It's because he missed weight, bro.
You're fucking me up.
It's because he missed weight. I'm saying he thought it was 205. He's like, I'm under. I'm 187, guys. I'm under. Yeah, bro.
How many more times is he going to get to miss weight before he gets cut? It's not like he's a crowd pleaser anymore. Those days are gone.
No, honestly, I think that's it for him. I really do. And he lost on top of it. Like, forget it, dude. No one cares about you.
He lost emphatically. It wasn't like a close.
Right. And after his last fight at 85, he's like, I feel so good. I got all this energy. I can't wait. This is my new division. And then you fucking can't. You kidding me? Like, you are a fat shit who eats nothing but fast food burgers. You are a fucking disgrace to the MMA world. Stop fighting. Just stay away. Go, open a gym on your namesake and get guys that were local to your hometown to fight there and make some money that way in your career.
How about that? Open a gym and attend. And then maybe you might have a remainder of a career.
Yeah, I don't get what happened. I really don't.
Yeah, who knows, man?
He was when Jake LaMotta friggin' won the belt, he just got fat and just didn't care anymore.
He sold his soul for restaurant riches, and then the devil came to collect, and it took like the Monstars, I think, financed his restaurant, and they took his fighting ability and his discipline, and then they left him with a failing restaurant on top of that. So they fucked him twice, like a hermaphrodite.
Yeah, I don't get what happened to him. I mean, he was definitely a good fighter, and then he hit the bed.
He feasibly beat GSP when GSP was. I know he wasn't feeling it as much anymore, but he was still kind of at the height of his powers. Like that was the.
He beat the fuck out of GSP.
Again. I've watched that fight again.
Oh,
I can kind of see how they gave GSP the nod. I can kind of see how.
You're such a homer.
I can't believe you said that. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, he's about to get credit finally for being so vocal about how GSP got the shit kicked out of him. And you say the exact opposite. You son of a bitch. Can you elaborate on that real quick? I want you to tell me how you think GSP won that fight.
Because
Joe Rogan said it looks like GSP is in desperation mode.
GSP's never missed weight in his life.
Oh, my God.
He's never missed weight, so he won the fight.
He's a professional. He's a professional, right? According to Tabby. Jesus.
I just
Shout
knew
out
that
to
was going to piss Carl off. No, I just knew it was going to piss Carl off. That's exactly what I was
I love you, dude. Kid.
Henzo Gracie for life right there. Way to go. Right. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, Tim Bosch, Johnny Hendricks, congratulations. Neither of you are going anywhere in your careers. We'll see you again. We'll see Tim Bosch on like a middling of the card, like a nothing fight.
No, Tim Bosch
should
be on the Lifetime Movie Network story of Haig. That for the longest time. No, for the longest time I thought they looked alike. Right? Tell me I'm lying.
I don't see it.
Come on, guys.
I don't see it at all.
I always confuse
a little
them.
bit.
Yeah, I would always be like, hold on, which one is this? And then Bosch just outlasted him, and then unfortunately,
Well, Bosch
happened.
pulls out these miracle wins.
Okami, remember?
That's
Okami?
what I'm saying.
Remember when
he pulls out these wins where you're like, how the hell did you win that fight?
You know why he's going to have a career?
No.
Why he's going to have a career is because Dana hated Yushin Okami. and he's like, thank you. And he's like, yo, I'll fight for 20-20 for the rest of my career no matter what happens, but I have to have a guaranteed employment in the UFC. And Dana's like, fuck it, that's pretty cheap. You beat Okami for me. I'm going to be good for that. And then I think that's how he's getting all these fights. Win, lose, or draw. He's like, yeah, I'm getting my $40K for this fight.
Well, either way, we don't have to spend another split second. You don't have to spend another split second on Tim Bosch.
Is he a Ryan Bader-esque figure for?
Oh my God, we'll get to Ryan Bader too, which is another thing we've been discussing our whole careers. But anyway, in the most controversial fight of the night, Kevin Lee defeats Michael Chiesa, and what was a rear naked choke that Chiesa didn't tap, but tapped according to Mario Yamasaki. I think it was like in the waning seconds of the first round. I don't know. It looked like Chiesa was in trouble that fight anyway. He probably would have lost regardless, but because of the controversial decision, they'll probably give him another chance at Lee down the road. Who the hell knows what Dana's going to do there? But, how did you guys see it? Omar, how did you see this? I mean, I know Tommy's not really going to go against Yamasaki for Twitter purposes, but
I think that it was one of those situations you got to let the guy go out. There's not. I know a lot of people are like, here, you got to defend the fighters, this, that, and the third. Listen, if it's a bone crack, then maybe I could see you stop it. But if it's anybody who's grappled, if you're just gonna go to sleep, you're gonna, it's not gonna be as much of a crazy time as saying getting KO'd or having a bone rearranged. You know what I mean? I would have liked to see a stoppage in the Nogueira, Frank Mir debacle before that happened. I would like to see that stopped earlier than what I had to see. Was really, it was early, but I could, again, these referees don't ref in vacuums, guys. Like, I think that probably enough was swirling around where he was getting shit on for letting people get demolished.
Killed.
And maybe he just aired on the other side, man. I mean, I would.
That's a very good aspect, Omar. I'll give you credit for that.
They're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Everybody makes a mistake. Look at Big John. He had one of the biggest blunders in MMA history with the Bustamante fight.
And Bustamante, right? Jesus.
Yeah, that was the biggest blunder in history, and you know what I mean?
Horrible.
It happened.
He should have gotten 2 wins for that fight.
Yeah,
Bustamante.
it's the human element in it. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's the human element. What could you do?
If we talk about refs, then they're fucked, right? Like refs are at their best.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was literally going to say, like, if you know a referee's name in any sport or an umpire in baseball, like, that's usually for a bad reason. Like Jim Joyce, he blew on whenever Galarraga's perfect game, and it's the last out in the 9th inning, but that's for all the wrong reasons. It's never like, wow, this guy's strike zone was incredible. It's never that. So
the basketball guy wasn't he the guy that fixed the game?
Donahue,
right.
I mean, look at it this way: was he getting out of it? No. So if anything, he should be, instead of bitching about the referee, he should be more pissed off at the fact.
Yeah, but there was like 6 seconds left in the round. There wasn't much time left. Like, he could have fought that off and got to the next round.
You could put somebody to sleep in 4 to 5 seconds, brother.
I understand.
But you can hold your breath.
He wasn't asleep though. And he's a ground guy. He's a submission guy. So I think he's used to that.
He could have scrunched his neck and waited, man.
Right.
Like, I think it was
I'm
not.
I'm sticking up for Mario, so shut up, all right?
All in all, though, I mean, it had a little bit of everything. It had knockouts, it had decisions, it had controversy, it had, the old guys like passing the guard or passing the torch in a way. It had fat bastards like being fat. So it was a pretty good card. I'll give it that. I'll give it a good card. A good card ranking.
It was a good free card. If that was a pay-per-view, I would have been pissed.
Well, of course.
Well,
I mean, there was no main event headliner, so that's neither here nor there. But we can move on now to the Bellator 180 card, which was actually held Saturday. I give credit to Bellator. This was in the Madison Square Garden. They put on a pretty good show. Big event. Mike Goldberg was announcing the free card portion of it, which
I was so happy to hear his voice again.
Me too, and he did a good job, of course. He's not going to bring up UFC much. He's kind of like just go right into his new job. So I give him credit for that, for being professional. He actually did bring up UFC because I think he was talking about a couple of the fighters, Bader and Davis and shit.
That I noticed, like they're taking, and it's sorry to jump in, but like it's a really big difference than what. Like the UFC does. The UFC, if you notice, when they mention previous fighters in other organizations, they say fighters in other organizations, right?
Yeah,
they never bring up
to almost mention it, right?
Yeah, here it was great, and I thought it was much more real because of that.
Dude, it's 100% more real. Right? It's 100. Dude, it's like the thing where ESPN will never mention another like radio show or unless there's a story breaks by Yahoo or whatever, then they mention that. But like Boomer and Carton will mention Mike and Mike on ESPN because anyone could look at see who broke the story. So you're right, it's 100% more real, and it's like grabbable. As you're sitting there watching it, you're like, okay, I trust this. I like this guy. He's giving us all the information we need. I mean, anyone who's a fight fan knows the story of where these guys are coming from. So if they say, oh, fighting out of another, it almost looks like Bellator is scared to mention UFC because they're going to lose ratings to them, which is stupid because that's not the case. So I think you're 100% right with that when you were saying it's more real. So, I mean, what do you guys think of the overall production of the event? And, we can compare it to the November UFC card. So, in terms of them, like I think they stacked up pretty well.
I don't know how you would compare it to the November card.
I'm just saying in terms of putting on a fight in Madison Square Garden. I'm not talking about fights. I'm talking about the production of the company, the organization putting on a show in Madison Square Garden.
Viacom has a lot of money, so they could put on a really good production when they
have to. And that's what I'm talking about. It looked the part on TV. So
shout out to Shab for being for being on the commentating team as well.
Shout out to you, Omar, for actually getting pictures with the fighter and the kid and their producer beforehand. And I'm going to get those pictures on the website. I don't even know what the hell held me up. I've actually been feeling like shit over the past 2 days, so I've kind of stayed away from much on the computer and shit. So, that's my fault, but I'll get them up there. But, kudos to you. And yes, kudos to Brandon Schaub. He put on a pretty good show, I think, too. This is probably the beginning of a career for him.
He said he was going to be trying to get on the Showtime card as well for Mayweather and McGregor. Yeah, he was already in talks. So I hope, because I'm happy there. I know Tommy will be ambivalent about Schaub for whatever reason, but I hope he gets on there just as a representative of MMA and that entire broadcasting team. I feel like there's going to be nobody on there.
They need somebody from MMA. I don't think they're going to ask Joe Rogan to do it.
No.
Yeah,
they
probably not. It'd be great if he did, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right, of course. That would be great. Schaub's got a good face for TV, and he really is, he does a good job. He seems professional. He's got a voice that you could trust. He wasn't shit in terms of, fighting, but ever since doing the podcast and stuff, he does a good job with it, I think. So, he's someone that I think fans can get behind.
I think so, and Josh Thompson was surprisingly pretty erudite as well. I shouldn't say surprising. I never knew he had it in him. I don't think he's retarded or anything, but I was just he can be hit or miss with fighters. So
good for Bellator. They definitely got it going there with the announcers. Jimmy Smith does a good job as always, and
Mauro
what's
Ranallo.
the guy's name? Yes, that's what I was just gonna say. Ranallo. Yeah, I like that dude. He's good.
The epic cauldron of enmity is about to boil over. I can't forget that little quip. That I was when he said it. I'm like, hold on, what?
Announcing is his life. He's done it all: boxing, MMA. He's still with WWE. He knows his shit.
Him and Boss is some of the best called cards I've ever seen. Like that, I love their podcast together. I think they have 2. Their time at, I love Stephen Quadros, but when Mauro came on, he just has, he just has a thesaurus in his head, cauldron of enmity.
Yeah.
I want to write as well as that guy commentates. That's what's crazy, What I mean?
Right.
It just comes out with it.
But anyway, the card didn't fail to impress or fail to deliver, I should say, in and of itself. The first fight we got to discuss, Douglas Lima, brother of Diego, who's the champ, defeated Lorenz Larkin, the UFC defect.
Defect.
Right. I thought Lima brought it more in the early rounds. Larkin started, slowing him down later, but he won by unanimous decision. So he didn't really do shit in terms of, winning the fight. He just actually was a little more active.
Was he scared? Did you?
I don't know. It looked like he was just he was playing the counter game the whole time, and that kind of lends to that look. You're backing away constantly. You're never on the attack. It kind of lends to that look to the naked eye.
Yeah,
I don't think he was scared.
Did he get dropped and then he was like, oh shit? Because he got dropped early when Diego was backwards.
Right.
Right.
Lima brought he was throwing bombs out there. He was definitely throwing, shots that would, inflict pain. I just, Lorenz Larkin seems like a professional fighter. How could you be scared? You're in there.
No, but it seemed like he
MSG.
shrunk from the moment, though. It's like I don't think I saw the same guy that pieced up Neil Magny. Maybe Neil Magny obviously is not Lima, But the same guy that
Right.
did that to Magny and was doing, 17 hit combos to a couple people in the UFC comes down and, maybe, I don't know. I think that weird shit that he had shaved in his head probably took a couple of points off of his attributes there. I couldn't. What could you guys? I mean, is that what the kids are doing?
I had no
these days?
idea. I was looking at it the whole time, like thinking to myself, "What the hell are these people doing?"
An Illuminati symbol is what that was. I was looking into the crowd to try to find a triangle and the Eye of Horus.
In the eye, right?
But and then
Talking about Michael Bisping.
Oh God!
No.
Stop.
Just trying to find an eye. Period. Poor guy.
So
Poor guy.
I mean, Bellator, while, these guys are losing that they're bringing over, not everyone, but some of these guys are losing that they're bringing over, I think they're starting to stack their roster a little bit. So we will probably see more pay-per-view events in the future.
What do you think about the price tag, though?
Yeah. I mean, was there a price tag? I thought it was free.
No.
Got him! Yes!
Scott Coker. We all paid, Scott. We love you.
I paid.
Come on the show.
I don't know about you.
Everybody did. I know Tommy definitely.
We all paid. Come on the show.
Tommy did.
Tommy paid for himself and for me.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You spliced in. I love it. But, I mean, is it a good price? I mean, okay, so let's just discuss theoretically, I guess. A good price point, bad price point? What are we thinking? It was $49.99 officially.
For the first, I don't know how much lower you can go. You probably could drop $10 off it, $39.95. But I think at that point you're running the risk of being a little too cheap, where you're not going to gain many more extra buyers at that price. People are used to paying $50 for a pay-per-view event, so I think that's kind of where they went with it. If what they have 100 or 901,000 buys or whatever or something like that, or eyes on 180. I don't know how many pay-per-view buys out of that came, but
after
that
terrible lead-in, though, that last fight did him no favors.
Yeah, right. But fight fans are fight fans. They see a fight, and anyone who knows Bellator and wanted to watch those fights ordered the fight. I don't know how many more fights or buyers you were going to get if you dropped the price $10. You're running the risk of losing money at that point. So I think it was a fair price point. It bothers me that they're going the pay-per-view route sometimes now. But,
I don't think it's the price that has anything to do with it. I just think that if you're not an MMA enthusiast, you're not looking for Bellator. You know what I mean?
And you don't even know.
If you're a quote-unquote casual fan, yes, you've heard of Fedor.
Oh my God!
You've heard that he was the best for 10 years, but you don't know now that he's not the same guy that he used to be. You might have heard Trion's name before, but you don't really know about him. So it's just with Bellator, it's rough. They just got to get their name out there a little bit more. It's got to get out there a little bit more.
If you're not a fight fan, you don't even know what Bellator is. You'll skate right over that and not even care. So, whatever. I think the $50 price tag might have attracted people at that sense because they're like, wait, it's $50. It must be a good fight, but who's going to just spend $50 to watch a fight at home that they don't know anything about? So, whatever. They're doing their thing, like Tommy said. They're building a fan base and they're building steam with this, and they're right on the cusp of it, man. They got good roster. They're performing in MSG. So I think there's things to come around the corner for Bellator. So good for them. Zach Freeman defeated Aaron Pico, shocked the fight game, and upset Omar, of course, with Freeman winning via Darce choke. He was out cold when he dropped that Darce choke when the ref broke him up. I think the punch kind of stunned him really bad, worse than you think, because he dropped and then he dropped right into that choke right away. So it was like he didn't even have a chance to recover. That poor guy could have died right there. That's how you die. You get punched and then choked before you can even take an next breath. So
I think that's the quote of the day. That's how you die. You get punched.
How you die in the ring. Octagon. You get punched. You get knocked out cold, you get choked, and then the ref doesn't see it right away. 10 seconds later, you're dead in the ring. You're in the octagon. Whatever.
Jesus.
I do think Pico, though, at 20 years old, he still has the phenom status. The problem with these things nowadays is, the same thing happened with Sage Northcutt. The more you promote a guy, you're trying to get the Conor McGregor fact. Lightning only strikes, a few times with these guys. Like, a lot of times they fail to impress. But just doing my research on Pico and looking at him, even my brother said this guy looks like the truth. You know, he's definitely got enough of a fight game behind him to take it to the level that we all think he could. Omar, I know you're not going to get dejected by this loss, right? You're
No,
still young enough
I
to
think
start going around.
he's still young enough, but one thing that did bother me a little bit was, and what the only thing that I could see derailing him is the mental game, and I thought he bought into his own hype a little bit. Like, you know, if
you gotta be careful of that, right?
Up, yeah, and like I looked it up after, because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Dude.
I hope something's going on, because this is the same kid that, like, Jordan Burroughs was worried was going to take his spot on the national team for wrestling.
Right.
You know, that should tell you right there the credentials that this kid brings to the grappling circuit. So, you know, I wish there was a way to just have him not buy into his own hype. Just kind of bite down.
What's weird, though?
Losing the way he did probably will, you know, get him to not buy into his own hype, you know?
Oh, my girl said
he's
going to cry salty tears.
Yeah, now is when you see what kind of a fighter he really is. You know what I mean? That fight or flight shit. Is he going to go in there, still be confident, but be somewhat humble to where it doesn't happen to him again and learn from his mistake? Or is he going to go the Ronda Rousey route, you know, buy into his own hype and maybe not want to do this anymore because, you know, he got embarrassed on pay-per-view?
And have babies
you know what I mean?
with Travis Brown? Like, is that ultimately?
Well, I wouldn't want to go that far.
Where you're going with all that
I hope he does, you know, just bounce back from it because, you know, I've seen his wrestling highlights. The guy's a fucking maniac.
You know what it is? So with these guys that are, you know, up and comers or, you know, young phenom types, or even guys who are in the middle of their career and like Max Holloway, it's like, you know, if you're confident and you win, it's like, okay, you know what you have. But if you're confident and you lose, it's like, oh, you're kind of like falling into like the trap of believing your own hype type thing. It's really like, it's weird. Us as analysts, and I'm guilty of it too. It's like you can't help but just read into what happens and be like a reactive fan to it. You know, it's kind of hard to stay true after a guy like this loses a fight this quick in his career. That's why I want to temper my expectations by like saying anything negative about him yet, because like, you know, we'll see what happens. But, you know, I don't know him as much as Omar does. Obviously, Omar's been following him a little bit more since he was the one who brought him up. But, you know, I guess there is definitely a little bit of that. But I like what Tommy said, how a loss like this really could you know, knock you down a peg and snap you back to reality, as Eminem so eloquently put it in his one rap that he wrote that day. But all right, where are we going with this? I don't know. I think that Pico.
I hate the guy that won though, Altar Boy MMA. Looking him up on Twitter.
Oh yeah, dude. What is that? That's
so man, stupid. The power of belief. Yo, go fuck yourself. Like seriously, you know what I'm saying? Like if he could have lost to anybody else, I hope the next guy is the Iron Sheik and beats the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Just absolutely puts him in a camel clutch and says, fuck the infidels. Not that I'm a Muslim, not that I endorse Muslim terrorism. My name is Omar, but I'm not part of that camp, surprisingly. However, Altar Boy MMA, no.
Stop.
Former Altar Boy, no. I'm a former Altar Boy that practiced MMA. What's my Twitter handle? Not Altar Boy MMA, I'll tell you that much right the fuck now. Good hell.
So,
Reverend Freeman.
We kind of touched on it in the open, but I wanted to talk about, you know, Mr. Desir's again victory in just around 2 minutes of the first round of Nate Greb.
I'm so glad I turned on Twitter just as that round was starting, because I couldn't find the fight. You know, I was up in the fucking mountains and I had no cell reception, and I'm looking for the fight. And then I go on his Twitter and I see that Bellator had, you know, the live fight on there, and I clicked on it just as that round started. And when that dude threw the leg kick, and then Brad just fucking rained down bombs. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was like an uppercut, like cross. It was weird. He murked the dude with the shot that he hit him with. That's for damn sure. But he was bringing it before then and after that. Like, the dude throws friggin' leather, and I gotta love him. I just want to shout out his Instagram at BDESIR, B Desir MMA. That's like just, his name, Bradley Desir, B Desir MMA. That's his Instagram handle. Just try to, give him a little pub. But yeah, dude,
Savage.
He talked about it last week on the show. He was like, these dudes can't throw hands with me. They can't take my punches. They can't take my power. That's the fighter I am. I'll bring in the ruckus and I'm gonna knock somebody out. He's like, I'm gonna knock this dude out. He called it out and he did it, and I'm happy.
He's forever gonna have the first knockout for Bellator in MSG, like forever.
Yep. And we will forever have the interview less than a week before that fight. I love it.
It's pretty dope, man. Shout
out
to
Omar.
Brad.
Good job with that.
Oh, hey, he was a great interview too, wasn't it? Like that's what we were talking about.
He was. Definitely. Just go back. If you go to our website, just check out Pride Rules 35, PR 35, or, subscribe to any one of the podcast stations, iTunes, Google Play, all of them. I'm not going to go through them right now, but, check out the 35th episode with Brad Desir. The interview came about, a half hour into the show? I think
and then he just killed it. He just absolutely murdered.
He killed it. Dude's a good dude. I'm definitely a fan for life, no matter what happens.
I wish they interviewed him. I wish they interviewed him so he could have threw us a shout out.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, I can't wait for the first fighter to shout us out in the cage afterwards, but it's coming. It's going to happen one day.
For sure.
In a crazy turn of events or a crazy fight, this, I'm not really going in any order here. I'm kind of just going all over the place, trying to talk about the bigger fights first, I guess. But Brent Primus defeated Michael Chandler. I hope I'm saying his name right. Primus.
No. Nobody defeated anybody.
The stool asshole defeated Michael Chandler.
Nobody defeated anybody in that fight. All right, and if he celebrated.
Anyway, the doctor stopped it because Chandler basically had a broken ankle at the time, which I didn't know if he broke it at the time, but I figured he sprained it pretty bad because that happened to me before, where I sprained it and then I just kept giving out in the next few minutes. So I was trying to walk on it. This dude's trying to fight on it. In the post-fight interview, he's like, "Cut the shit off," whatever. Chandler's a fucking beast, dude. I'm definitely thinking that this dude belongs in the UFC. Only because that's, naturally where the fight fans think that the best belong. But, there's no doubt he's got unfinished business.
So who's his first fight in the UFC? Eddie Alvarez?
Oh, damn. If you want an entertaining fight.
That was entertaining. They were both bloody as shit, right? That was a good fight.
Those wars made Bellator. He became the face of Bellator through that crucible of violence.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Ronaldo.
Crucible of violence.
I was
going to say. You're bringing it. But a couple things that happened in that fight. Primus, after the fight, he was literally just screaming, in the cage, for 2 minutes. It was driving me nuts. I was like, get this fucking camera off this guy. Get the microphone off him.
Oh
Chandler,
my God.
I think, was starting to get bothered by it. And the fact that dude, which Omar shared today, Chandler is sitting on the stool, and the doctors are around him. He gets up to show him that he can walk. One of the doctors pulls the stool out, and he sits down and misses the stool. Guys, he got the chair pulled out from him in the cage. I felt so bad. It was so fucking hilarious.
The 1 second where he looks up at the guy what the fuck,
right.
man?
Yo, I was going to say that. That's as soon as he hit the fucking ground and it registered in his brain what the fuck just happened, he wanted to kill that old man, bro. He wanted to kill him. You could see
the dude started shying away with, live after that, started shying away like he was taming a lion. With the three-legged stool, he's like, oh,
with the chair, right? Yeah.
Oh
my God!
Christ. How
I think
terrible.
I posted that. I think I shared that video to our Facebook page. So go like the page 2MW Pride Rules on Facebook and check us out and check out that video. Yo, so funny. But I feel bad he lost. Right. He lost, but he's probably gonna get a shot to
he's gonna
avenge
that man's soul. Holy shit,
dude, he's gonna kick his ass next time they fight. Yeah, it's gonna be bad because Chandler's the truth, dude. He is definitely the truth. This guy did not friggin' belong winning the belt from him at all.
With a bum foot. Remember before they stopped it? He found a way to Superman punch him on the 1 foot. I was like, what?
Oh my God.
He might still win. It was crazy.
I don't know.
Then you had
what, Tommy? What don't you know, Thomas?
Yeah, what don't you know? What?
I was pissed that the guy pulled the fucking stool. All right.
That didn't kill his chances. The man had a foot looking like he was an extra in Saw. Okay, the first Saw movie, for fuck's
He
Like that
couldn't
wasn't
walk
doing-
under his own power. He kept falling.
Okay.
His
Exactly.
fucking ankle kept giving out.
He kept bouncing
Oh, my
in
God.
place and breaking more bones and snapping
More
more
bone,
ligaments.
breaking the bone more.
Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus
please.
All right.
Christ.
There's no
please.
that poor stool guy.
There's literally
Right.
no
He
please.
could have kept
There's
fighting.
no please.
He could
No.
have kept fighting. He wanted to keep
No.
fighting. Don't
No.
defend the stool guy, okay?
I
Yeah.
totally defend the stool guy because
And
I could
here's
see
another
myself
one.
doing that.
How do you pull a stool out from a guy who has a supposed fucking ankle injury? How
'Cause he
stupid
got
is
up.
What
that?
the fuck is that? Because
He
you're
got
a
up.
broken foot and you're fucking pulling a stool out from under
No,
him.
he was
No
trying to
matter
help
what.
him, guys. He was trying to help him. You
Yeah.
know why? Because he's like, oh, he's getting up. Let me get the stool away. So they're like, okay, this fight's getting ready to go. He was trying to sell the restart of the fight, guys, all right? This poor bastard.
Yeah.
He's probably like somebody's dad, like a cut man's uncle that's,
Well, guess
helping
who,
out.
Guess who probably doesn't have a job anymore?
I was just
I
going
hope,
to say.
I hope he
Yeah, I
got
hope they
returned to
don't
the
take job.
Would you want him? Would you want him being around amateurs after that? If he gets
No,
promoted,
I'd
no.
fire him.
No, because he'd give him a
I'd fire him,
TBI.
but I hope they don't.
Yeah. I hope,
All right, so moving
Need
on.
Medicare.
The most boring, hated fighter of our podcast, mainly because of Chris. I'll give him that. Ryan Bader, boringly, I basically fell asleep during this fight, defeated Phil Davis to win the light heavyweight title. It's on my TV right now in the studio, but
Wake up.
it is what it is.
Don't go to sleep, Kyle.
Right. We were talking, it's funny because we talk about Bader, he's the perfect guy that we were talking about this whole, UFC, do you want to bob around the middle of the rankings or go over to a lesser organization, being the operative word, going over to a lesser organization and winning a title. And he just did that. And, it probably is so much better for his career to do that. I really hope more fighters don't do that because, I'm a UFC fan, but I don't know. It looks
Why?
like it
Competition
could.
is great.
Yeah, it is.
Competition's
Actually, you're right.
great.
You're right. Because UFC's starting to get complacent, and they're doing stupid shit. Like this whole ever since the purchase, they've definitely done some dumb shit and gotten them worse as an organization. So I think this might kickstart them in the right direction. So you're right. I'll give you that. I'm wrong, but whatever. I don't know. So Bader won the title over Phil Davis. Big fucking deal.
What I'm disappointed in is that after an entire first fight of feeling each other out, right? You have another stinker of a fight.
Right.
I'm not like ever at that pro level. I give them all the credit in the world, but what the fuck, guys? All right? What the fuck? Like, seriously. You have one entire fight to say, okay, that and it's two grapplers. They're trying to learn how to strike. It'd be like me trying to become, a Greco-Roman freestyle champion. I would look that ridiculous. I get it, all right? But you give me an entire fight, plus like 3 or 4 fights in between. Then you put it as my first title fight. Ryan Bader, where was the goddamn urgency? All right? You put him on his back a couple of times, okay? Like, how about throwing more than 2 punches at once? I love him to death. I give him all the respect in the world. But holy shit, who's in their corner telling him, hey, listen, you might get fired. And if you get fired from Bellator, what the hell is left? World Series of Fighting? Rising?
Well, because
Tijuana, Mexico fights?
His
Fucking
whole
do
career,
something.
he always knows what to do to get the win. It doesn't matter how boring it is.
So that makes him a smart fighter in my eyes. He is boring. That's why you got to juggle the entertainment side of it also. Some of these guys
Was
get
it
it, some
boring
don't.
that Ronda Rousey won every single one of her fights with
Absolutely.
Armbar in the beginning?
Absolutely.
To
me,
you stick with what works. Do I like it? No, not really, because that's that gives wrestlers that bad staple that all they
Like
do
fights
is
are
lay.
finished fights.
Like
this is fighting. This is not chess. This is not.
Well, they're taking
why
the
they-
point system away.
that's why they give fucking. That's why they
They
give
should.
They
punches
take the
for
point
big
system away.
stoppages.
That's all.
I agree.
And what? Have
100%.
them fight to the death? Just keep
Yes.
fighting
No.
until
100%.
someone gets knocked out.
Whoever gives up or whoever gets knocked out.
No,
if
exactly.
you don't like,
Someone's
Yeah, but
gonna
if-
die that way.
yeah, but okay then. So you can't people can't complain about somebody pointing a win if you know what I mean. You can't complain about it. You can't.
Yeah, I can.
I just said that I think he's a good fighter for it.
I'm not talking about you.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not the fan. It's the wrong rule. Like, it's like the Tuck rule thing. Like, it was the right call, but they just shouldn't have that rule in place. Like, the point system is right to be in place, but they just have the wrong point system for MMA.
I'm going to be tough for a second. What is his team around him that's telling him to be the same guy? Like, wouldn't you want to, at the end just put an emphatic cherry on top instead of trying to...
He's got a belt.
He can't say he's a champ, so I think he's doing the right thing in terms of, like, being a fighter, and, he's got the belt. What can you say about the guy who's the champ at this point? It's boring, but, we were all saying that about Khabib, and he never became champ. Still.
If he defends his belt once, he's already better than Conor in my eyes.
Oh
God.
Sweet Caroline.
There was a double KO almost for a second, Mitrione and Faber. That was pretty wild how they both basically hit each other, and it looked like Faber's punch landed harder than Mitrione's. But Mitrione basically got up quicker and reacted and got on Faber and basically Fedor. Why do I keep saying Faber? I think I wrote it.
Yeah, Faber. What the hell?
I'm sorry.
Uriah's back out of that's an open weight.
And it's a heavyweight too.
You know what it is? It's like Anchorman. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Like, I read something, like I wrote it wrong, and I just kept reading it that way.
Go fuck yourself, San. Oh, that was such a great point of that movie.
I just wonder if Fedor comes back, or if was this just a one-off and then that's it? Because if he can't beat,
he said he's not retiring. He said he's going to come back. I'm a fighter.
Yeah, he's going to come back to Ryzen.
Whatever. Does anyone else care? I'll never watch another Fedor fight again ever in my life.
You can't beat Matt Mitrione. I don't know.
Right.
I want to see him versus Vanderlei. I want to see him only fight ex-Pride guys. That's
the
official death of Pride. They'll both lose, I think.
Maybe Mark Hunt will go over to Bellator and we'll get to see Fedor versus Mark Hunt again.
Hey, maybe we'll see Chael Sonnen, right? After that promo that he cut.
I love Chael.
Oh,
I love Chael.
He's amazing.
I love that he bitched out Tito as soon as he started. I made you tap for a minute.
Alternate fact.
He beat Vanderlei via decision. Very boring. Blah 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 blah.
I think the most excitement was the end when Vanderlei threw a hissy fit and when the bell happened and threw fucking Chael off him like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, well, whatever. Do you think that fight in the Ultimate Fighter that day was fake or real?
That was real. They hate
I
each other.
swear to God, they looked like bitches throwing those. Like Chael, I don't know, for a second, he looked like he was throwing like alligator arm punches and like it was so staged. Like I'm gonna level change 2 times and then shoot. So after I level change the second time, throw a right hook or whatever over my head.
Chael didn't throw any punches. It was
Vanderlei. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah, but,
I don't know.
All right, but if you think that was staged, Bellator opened the same way. Vanderlei threw a flurry, and then Chael did a level change and put him on his back. And Vanderlei
exactly. They said, let's do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just mad that after 4 years, he hasn't learned how to defend a simple takedown. Like, I did not see one attempt at a sprawl. One attempt at a sprawl. Tommy, you've seen white belts put hips into a sprawl a little bit better than Vanderlei goddamn Phil.
Shit, I'll put my hips into a sprawl a little bit better, I think.
I've heard about those hips.
But against someone my size.
I've heard about those hips.
I mean, I don't think Vanderlei... I've never really seen Vanderlei do anything off his back, have you?
He looked more
being knocked out on
than Dan Henderson, right? Like, remember him against Dan? I know that was lifetimes ago and they were on juice. But it seemed as though he had more to give a better wrestler, right? I remembered that. There was a point where Chael was giving him ground and pound, and I was like, shit, the old Vandy would be able to get out from under this. I really feel he would.
The power of all that juice in his system.
That's what, and
they
should let him do
with
it.
the impressive jump on. Look at him running on the track like Carl Lewis. Look at you.
Yeah, but look, you got to think of it this way.
Racist,
Vanderlei's initials now should be CTE.
Carl Lewis is fast.
That should be Vanderlei's initials now, CTE. That's what they should call him. Because he's not the same person.
I just want to go
He's
to the
not the
same.
same.
He's not the same
classification.
person after the juice. He's not the same person after the surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, take
He's
any
not
pick
the same
of
person
anything,
after
point that.
Liddell knocked him out.
I need
Knocked him
my
out.
eyes done. I need my eyes done.
After Rampage, I mean.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Well, Rampage is
Yeah,
not
he
the same person after him, though. Let's not get it twisted. That
True.
first encounter,
True.
the first
I'm
couple
not-
of encounters. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not at all gonna breeze over that.
No.
Well, I mean,
It was
Rampage-
Halloween, too.
Rampage-
I remember.
Rampage
Maybe when he
Halloween.
ran from USADA, he slipped and hit his head or something, and, forgot the basics.
He forgot how to
defensive
fight. Oh,
takedown.
God.
Yeah. Something.
Rampage had a belt, did Vanderlei, when he came to the UFC? No.
No.
Yeah, because he was too busy
Whatever.
actually fighting and not driving people over in a pickup truck.
Oh,
All
my
right,
God.
Let's not get
Yeah.
it.
I like that we touched on that because, when Bones did his thing, people forget that, Quentin got hopped up on whatever the fuck he was taking.
He said
And-
monster. I love it. He said it was monster.
It's like, I don't know.
Monster
That's too much.
amphetamines.
Monster and PCP. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Stop it.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend that Jones's smaller car hurt in the pregnant woman like he did something, but he was in a revved up like pickup,
Yeah, he was in a monster
with
truck, bro.
aftermarket
I still
tires
think
and
Dana White
and
was in the
body
passenger
light.
seat. I don't care what anybody says. I still think Dana White was in the passenger seat of that monster truck as it was going down Vegas, smashing
Grave
the
digger.
house.
He was in Gravedigger. They were in
God, he had all the reason in the world to
speaking of
protect
Dana
him on
White,
that one.
Speaking of Dana White, they officially came out and canceled the 215 card in August. They're just going to bump
Yes.
215 to the 216 card and continue along the
Yeah, they're gonna call it
numbers that way.
215, I guess. Yeah,
Right.
we know what it
Mainly
is.
because of the Demetrius Johnson said he won't fight Dillashaw, and I think what they should do is just move it to 216 and let Ray Borg fight Demetrius Johnson. Obviously, give him his chance because he's the one that gets screwed in the whole thing. Demetrius Johnson is still the champ. Dillashaw still gets Cody down the road, and Ray Borg still got to now wait for his shot at the title. Not that he's going to win it anyway,
Yeah.
but whatever.
No,
Give him
not
some
at all.
publicity.
I gotta
Right,
give it,
right.
thinking about it, I gotta give it to TJ all of a sudden, like, clamoring out for the Mighty Mouse fight. Like, I thought he was, like, skating off because of things looking great with Cody, but if he would have went into the Mighty Mouse fight, found a way to get out of there with that belt, I would bet everything I own that he would have turned around to the end of this year saying that he's still the number one for Cody's strap. And that's why he was so hard up for it. But when he saw that Demetrius wasn't having it, now all of a sudden he's focused on Cody.
Right, you don't want to lose the shot of the belt. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He definitely wants at least to win
Well, there's
or
no
a chance
use
at some belt.
in bitching. There's no use in bitching if the guy doesn't want to fight. The guy doesn't want to fight. What are you going
Right,
to do?
I
You're going
think
to go on
Dana
a
just
tirade
said
and bitch? That's what Dana
Right.
White's for. He's the one who does the bitching. Let him do it.
Oh,
I'm sensing a little bit of hate for Dana.
right?
So it has to do with that, and plus it has to do with obviously the McGregor Mayweather fight in August. So there's not going to be any UFC card in August because that's going to dominate everything.
Listen,
They're
they
not
knew
even throw a fight night card in there.
when Conor signed up, Dana knew it was done. He just had to figure out, the particulars for Mayweather. They knew it was going to happen. So for a couple of weeks now, they knew this fucking fight was going to be in August. They're using it to explain away the fact that Demetrius said no. He's not doing it. That's why that shit got canceled. You can't know that this fight was supposed to happen August 26th. You knew you had a card coming up in August as well. You didn't have anything solidly planned for it, but you knew you had a card. You were planning a card right up until Demetrius says, I'm definitely not doing it, and now you're canceling it because of McGregor Mayweather. Come on.
Well, they have UFC cards set basically all through the year. So, those cards were officially, set and fights were made
No, I think Kareem's right.
ahead of time. And then once
agree
the
with
Mayweather fight got signed, they of course were going to scrap that because what's the bigger event? What the fuck are you going to scrap the Mayweather fight?
That would be
All right,
believable.
no, here's the funny part about this all. We are an ass hair away from July, and we still have no undercard for that fight in August.
I was
I'm
thinking
on
about
today.
that today.
That doesn't
No, I was thinking about it because I was
weird
listening back
any
to our
of
show
you?
last week, and we were talking about Broner and Nate Diaz, how Broner wants to fight Nate on the undercard, and I'm thinking to myself they better fucking get going with these undercards here because they don't have much time for these fighters' sake anyway. Come on.
I mean, you're going to charge somebody $100 to watch a Mayweather-Conor fight, and that's it? What are you going to have? an hour and a half worth of promo?
Yeah, just Brendan Shaw.
I think they're gonna have some up and
comers.
They're probably gonna do that.
This is great.
So where's the fight going to be held? Where's the fight going to be held?
In the
Vegas.
volcano.
Is Connor's going to fight in Vegas again? Didn't he say he was never going to fight in Vegas?
I'm surprised
He
Dana
said he would
wasn't
never step
clamoring.
into the Octagon in Vegas ever again.
I'm
Okay.
surprised
They
Dana
should have it in
wasn't clamoring
Dallas.
for
They should put it in.
MSG.
They should really have it in fucking they should have it in Dallas Cowboys Stadium because it'll seat so many people. They'll fucking fill that thing twice if they could.
Excuse
Believe
me.
me.
The greatest boxing matches in history were in MSG. That's where they should have.
I understand that.
Venue.
But talking money, I don't care what happened when there was no other arenas in the world except for Madison Square Garden.
They should have it in Manila.
There was no the fucking Packers played at like a high school field back in the day because they didn't have stadiums like they do today. Now they have 100,000 seat arena where they can fit plus people standing like crazy. Like you could sell that shit out so many times. Like please, like, that's where they should have it.
You would not
Yes,
sell
they
that
would.
out. You would not
I
sell
don't
that
know.
out.
They'll cover the upper row with fucking
Yeah, they
tarp.
would.
That's like they
No,
do
they
for
would
football
sell
and
it
baseball
out.
games. They'll cover the upper row with tarp.
Who just said they wouldn't sell that out?
They would
Jesus
not sell
Christ.
that out.
Tommy, are you insane? Tommy,
How
Put
do
it
you-
this way.
my
What are you
mom
gonna have
They
knows
would sell it
about
out
that.
twice.
Hold
They would
on.
sell it out twice, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy, hold on.
Is
Time out,
Tommy
Tommy.
standing near a punctured gas line, breathing in fumes?
I think he's ready to fix his car somehow. I mean, he said he was driving, but I think he put it on a jack halfway through the show. What the hell he's doing? I don't know. But Jesus Christ, my mom, my sister, my nieces, random people at work that don't follow fighting and roll their eyes when I'm like, holy shit, did you see the card this weekend? They all ask me about this fight. This fight's on the Today Show, for fuck's sake, Tommy. As much as you hate Conor McGregor, please, I the hating and the this and the that, I can get behind because it's
gone
opinion.
too far.
This is crazy.
It's gone too far.
He definitely would sell that out. He's going to sell out
twice.
The average fan is going to have to pay if the tickets go on regular sale, right, to the general public.
Right. If
average of $13,000 is what the preliminary estimates are.
And
you
if you were stupid enough
the
to buy,
demand?
and if you were stupid enough to buy that ticket, you're definitely riding a short bus with a helmet on, licking a fucking window on the way to sleep.
That's fine, but you know what? Those people fill arenas, okay? And that's how Nickelback made a career. We're all here talking shit MMA-wise and working humps every day. So we're obviously missing something here. But Jesus Christ, he would definitely sell out any arena. They could build an arena on the moon, all right? And you have to pay Virgin Atlantic and SpaceX to rocket your ass up there. And that would still sell out the arena.
Right. There's enough people with money to burn that like to go to these events just because. They'll go just because
it's an
they have the
event.
money.
There's
The
no
Kardashians
venue.
will be there.
There's
Everybody
no
who's
venue.
anybody. It doesn't
All
matter.
there is a date. That's all that there is. There's no venue. All there is a date,
Because
and
you
there's
could
no
probably
undercard.
build an arena on the Rio Grande and fill it with 200,000 people.
I still have a funny feeling something's gonna go down. Something.
You're just hoping. There's a difference between prognosticating
and hoping.
Hoping, exactly. Tommy,
No,
you're sitting
honestly,
there.
because I want to see Conor lose.
You
Because
asked
these
me
idiots.
how to do Santeria the other day, and I'm putting the pieces together, and I'm thinking you're using this stuff for evil. You told me
Tommy,
it was for the lotto. Fucking guy.
Tommy, you want Conor to lose, and every opinion is driven off of that. It's all derivative from that thought process. Like you go with everything that stems from that.
It's like trying to
just
argue
so you
with
could
Hitler.
say you had one streamlined
over race
thought.
politics.
You know what it is? I don't want
There's
him
no
to
other
lose for
way.
him. I want him to lose for his idiot fans that think he's gonna mow over Floyd. And there's
That's the
plenty
same
of
reason why I hated
That's
the
why I
Raiders
wanted to lose.
through my career. Up until 3 years ago, I hated the Raiders because of people like you and fucking Winkler and Joe Morgan, who all fucking talk shit thinking they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. And this is the same fucking thing. God damn it, man. Stop hating Conor so much. He's a great fighter.
Why? It makes you cry. That's what I love about it.
Oh my God. There's
And
hate,
me bringing up Conor every week makes you cringe. I love it.
There's hate, and then there's just like he's not going to fill an arena. My Lord.
I like how, yeah, right. That's just blasphemous. I like how in the sparring session chat room where I put, I mentioned the Conor fight being the reason why 215 was canceled, and he's like, no, nothing changed from the Conor Mayweather fight. We're not fucking talking about that. We wound up doing 10 minutes anyway. I love it.
Right? Because it's the truth. Come on.
This is the same guy that said Matt Hughes is going to fight BJ Penn next. Like, terrible. What a terrible human being. That was funny.
It would be more of an interesting fight than the Seaver fight was, that's for sure. Maybe BJ would actually go knee on belly when he has somebody on their back.
Them wheeling up Matt Hughes on a hospital bed and fucking hooked up to all these machines. That would be fucking more interesting.
Was BJ on drugs? Because
his ground and pound would still be more of a beast. His ground and pound would still knock BJ Penn out of the fight, definitely.
Oh my God.
BJ's walkout was suspect. He had the whole Michael Jordan tongue going like nonstop, or like he had cotton.
He was a fucking dickhead.
Like
ever since he licked the gloves, licked the blood off those gloves, I hate his guts. Idiot.
I don't know what was up with him. It was questionable.
He's over, dude. He's taking too much abuse. I mean, he abused his body, not just from the fighting, but the constant weight changes. You know, the weight cutting, the weight changes. He fought a heavyweight, for Christ's sake, when he fought Lyoto Machida. I mean, holy
Tacos.
shit.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. That's fucking crazy.
You know what I mean? He's a little dude. He's not like a big
He's
guy.
Fighting
He's
45 now. He's a featherweight. He fought heavyweight.
I mean,
so crazy.
But you know what's funny? Because he's so skinny and his head's so big, he looks like Quagmire. It's hysterical.
Bro, he looks like Baby Man. He looks like a man baby. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
He could
the
make
head of a baby and the body of a man.
But his head is.
If he belonged anywhere, he belonged at 55, and that's it.
He's got the body of a man, the head of a baby, and the face of a fucking senior citizen.
Move.
He belongs in the
today's
past.
game, Kareem.
That's where he belongs.
He's too old for 55. There's too many killers there now. Way too many killers there. I think he would get beat more at 55 and worse than he does now at 45.
Bro, he belongs out of the Octagon forever.
Yeah.
Out of any cage.
Just go. Like Omar said.
Don't ever lace up those gloves again, pal. Be a fucking coach. Rely on your namesake and sell fucking boring blog posts to fucking people who believe you.
Losing.
Unlike me.
He keeps losing. Like, he's just tarnishing his own legacy. It's sad. That's what it is.
It's over.
It's
his
sad.
legacy is now fucking completely wiped away.
It really kind of is, man. Like, I try to tell people about BJ Penn, and I mean, aside from, people like us, they're like, oh, that washed out fucking guy that just get beat up. I'm like, no, man, you don't understand. He made Carl Uno look in two directions at once. Like, that's the BJ Penn I remember.
Right, but if you listen to Dan Severn and Don Fry, when people ask them why they eventually just stopped, what do they say? I lost to somebody I shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah.
BJ has lost to people he shouldn't have lost to his last 2 or 3 fights.
In his prime, he would have shit on everybody that he just lost to. Like,
Except Frankie chipped him up.
I think Frankie beat the last vestiges of decent BJ, and I also think that even if BJ was at like the Joe Daddy Stevenson, Sean Shirk beating BJ, I think Frankie still would have the style, like the cardio machine pressure that can still hang with him on the hands and then will not get submitted but can put him on his back and do that effectively. That Frankie definitely beats him. I still think even in his prime. So I'll give you that one. I'm not being a homer. You kind of are, but I agree in this case.
No, it's legit. It's understood. I get it.
But he's definitely going to beat Yair Rodriguez.
Oh, my God. There's no business. Like, that dude should be an extra on a telenovela right now. Like, there's no reason why he should have.
Terrible.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Los Tigres del Norte featuring Yair Rodriguez as
No, I don't even know. He's got to build his career back up with a couple fights now. Zayna has to do right by his career and by us fans by not giving him anything special.
Let's be serious. He won't though. He's gonna put this guy out. He's gonna Roger Huerta this guy. That's what he's gonna fucking do.
All I know about Roger Huerta is the way he beat that dude up on in the streets for knocking that girl out on TMZ. He beat some big ass dude up, man. He was like 270. Yeah, you see him.
He
beating
came
his
off
ass
of.
on
He came
film.
off screen. Remember? He came off screen and did some flying shit, and I'm like, wow.
Yep.
This guy.
And then you
holy
see him in the
shit.
background, like stomping the dude's head, like, and everyone's like, "Yo, Roger, stop! You're gonna kill him."
No, you know what the best thing of all about this is that the world is still a decent place because he did not catch charges off of that.
Right.
That
Absolutely.
I love.
Thank God there was
no
camera,
reason.
a videotape of that. Right.
Exactly, because the pussy that was hitting a girl would have definitely been like, I did nothing to deserve this beating, and he beat me for no reason, and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey man,
no.
he's no Badr Hari, all right?
Oh Lord in heaven! Oh my God, Badr Hari. Badr Hari's trying to put hands on Stephen Hawking. Like he'll fight anybody at any time in the club.
Stop.
He's plotting on Matt Hughes right now. He's like, I'm gonna snap his leg in half.
Oh my God, another Matt Hughes reference. That's
I'm
three of
gonna
that.
put his leg.
Well, I
strikes
heard
me are
Badr
out.
Hari was the conductor of the train. That's what I heard.
Oh man.
Right.
Jesus.
So, guys, do you think Khabib and Ferguson's ever gonna happen? Is Khabib ever gonna be able to make?
Damn it! I had something to respond to that, but okay, that's fine.
Well, I hope so, or else it would be another train wreck. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no!
Oh my God! Excellent. Excellent. You should be a comedian.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I hope it happens because really that's the only fight anybody can talk about at lightweight. Nobody else gives a shit because the lightweight champion is off.
I was going to say,
Floyd
Conor, Dana wants that fight to happen so bad, so there's an interim title, but to hold the division over for Conor.
He's never fighting
Conor,
any of those
He's
guys
never
again.
going to fight in the UFC again. He's done. Not with that payday.
I agree.
If he beats Floyd, he's done. If he beats Floyd, he's done. If he doesn't beat Floyd, he's going to come back.
Okay.
No.
You know how he comes
Kavanaugh
back?
says he's planning to come back before the end of this year.
Kavanaugh
Like it's
says.
one way or
Kavanaugh
another.
says.
That's
Yeah, okay.
guys close in.
Doesn't Kavanaugh allow Dylan Dennis to teach jiu-jitsu?
Oh no!
I mean,
That's
listen.
a crime.
Can you sub Dennis?
I'm just a regular dude.
Oh yeah. So
With or without
take
the
into
mustache,
account.
though.
Take into account.
Let's handicap it right now. Does he have the child molester mustache or no?
Whoa. Maybe we take away. Maybe we take away the Uncle Diddle's mustache.
And the blonde hair.
Does he have the
Eminem dye
BB
job?
gun? Hold on, guys. Does he have the BB gun on him as well?
No, what I'll do is I'll call.
Is it Red Ryder?
I'll call up Henzo's.
Maybe he'll shoot his eye out.
I'll get Danaher to lend out little Nicky to come and fight for me.
Bro,
Danaher
could sub Danis right now. I know what I'm saying. Right now.
But that's not. You know what I mean?
No. I know what I'm saying right now. A
of
Danaher with no hips, for like just with his mind. All right, he pulls the Professor Xavier lock on my man Dylan Dennis and just like subs him with his mental power.
Right. God.
But to get off the Dylan Dennis crap, there's no way Conor's coming back with that payout.
Done.
Unless
I agree with Tommy.
Unless the chick leaves him, and now he's got to pay massive amounts of money in child support.
He's not married though. No.
He still has to pay child support.
Fuck no, he doesn't. No.
Sure he does.
No, he doesn't. He has money to disappear. Good luck finding Conor McGregor after he wins if he doesn't want to pay child support. Hanato Laranja is going to teach him how to avoid all that shit. All right, team no child support, team pull out, game strong, team AKA.
Whoa.
He's too flashy. He's too flashy to be able to hide somewhere. No. You don't see him again. There'd be no point. There's no point.
Yeah, he's not fighting again.
So
Never.
Omar, now that we're basically at the end of the show here, where we're just kind of like putting a bow on things, I want you to talk real quick about this whole Diego Sanchez fighting. What's the guy's name in your on your gym?
Mike Wacker, my coach.
Mike
my
Wacker,
jiu-jitsu
right?
coach.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
He's your coach. Oh shit!
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, he runs.
I saw the video you
Wacker
posted.
jiu-jitsu.
So anyway, he's set to fight or grapple with Diego Sanchez, right? Why don't you give the details on that?
July 29th, it's up in Pictou, Nova Scotia. I never heard of it either, guys, but it's a great place.
Right.
We've been up there once before for it's a Submission Series Pro. Kat Clark puts on this phenomenal event up there. He's had like blue belt showdowns, purple belt showdowns. It's just a guy that loves grappling. He's put on some tremendous events, and then he approached us. We brought one of our crazy guys, one of the blue belts, Aaron Harris, who runs our New Paltz location. It's across the river. I know you don't care. It's up in weird bumfuck New York, but it's across the river. He runs the New Paltz
up in Wappingers Falls.
Yeah, it's across the river from the falls. It's gorgeous. New Paltz. Let me tell you, too many New Paltz is out there, and there's some crazy hippie chicks. You guys would be actually very interested Friday and coming up, so just shout me out. I'll take you around. But it's we went up there.
I like indoor plumbing. Sorry, bro.
Hey, dude, you're gonna just want to bathe yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka after hanging out in New Paltz for a little while. But
I'm game on freak.
He came and offered the fight. Diego is super amped about it. It's going to be submission only, no gi, and we're super pumped. I mean, this is one of those situations where Diego's doing great with the promoting. We're trying to promote the shit out of it. Training camp's going well. We're getting a bunch of guys from the New York area to come up and help us out. We're going out to different gyms. So
I would think you guys would. July 29th. I would think you guys have to be really pumped for that, especially around the gym.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
why don't you tell Mike to give Matt Serra a call? I went to work with him for a little bit. Show him how to beat.
I think Diego. You know what? That's not out of the question. I know you're kind of trolling, but that's legit. It's one of those things where what's great, and I think Tommy, what's great about the community. Are you okay there, Kareem?
Kareem, you all right, bro?
Allergies.
A lot of nostril action going on over there.
I can't stop sneezing and shit. My allergies. Whoa! I'm not bumping rails. I'm definitely not bumping rails.
Jesus.
You guys going nuts on Colombian Bam Bam on live radio.
He's skiing. Jesus, you're right. He's like, yo.
No. I'm just sipping that lean.
Justice too. I gotta get my head right. But no. But no. What's great about the jiu-jitsu community, and I think Tommy will back me up on this, is that we all do band together that way. If one of the guys locally is gonna be, doing something pretty crazy to promote the art of jiu-jitsu, it's gonna be and it's not jiu-jitsu versus MMA per se, but the community does band around its own, So I think I'm positive that Henzo's a couple visits to Henzo's there in the future. Honest to God, I'm not even trying to be a homer here, Tommy. I'm trying not.
No. We'll keep promoting it too for you. I'll bring it up a little earlier on the show in the weeks following this, just to get it out there. Just so it's not buried.
We'll have Mike on here, I think, before. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Oh, perfect. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'll get him on there.
Come on, let him on. Good
Absolutely.
shit. But we're kind of coming to the end of the show, so I wanted to just touch on a couple things. I didn't shout out our Twitter, Instagram, and on all the social media at the beginning, but make sure you check out our website, www.priderollsmma.com. Me and Tommy are definitely going to get some blogs back up on there. I'm trying to post more on that, but it is what it is.
A really good one, actually. I have a good one that I'm working on. It ties in with the Conor Mayweather fight, the actual very first MMA-inspired match between Antonio Inoki and Muhammad Ali.
And nice. Inoki can't wrestle. Inoki can't wrestle. Nice.
What?
Inoki can't wrestle.
Oh no, that's what Muhammad Ali was shouting out during the whole fight.
Well, because
he was sitting up on the turnbuckle.
But what a lot of people don't know is that card had Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne leader, fighting Andre the
Rocky.
Giant.
Right.
So that was the very first spectacle before the Mayweather Conor thing. It kind of gets pushed to the side because it was such a shit fight. Because yes, it was supposed to be work. Nobody knew who was really going to do what, and Antonio Inoki actually fucked up Muhammad Ali's legs pretty bad after that because he was kicking him in the legs, which was not really supposed to happen, and Ali's legs are never really the same again after that. So I'm just trying to think about how I want to word it.
Right, no, yeah, and we got lives that get in the way too, so I'm sure you'll get that out as soon as you can. I'm definitely working on a couple too. But we'll definitely get him out. I want to just shout out our Twitter and Instagram, which are definitely picking up a lot of steam, getting a lot of interaction from fighters. That's at Pride_Rules 2MW. I mean, we're getting likes by Cyborg, Keith Jardine, Sergey Kovalev, followed by Aljamain Sterling, Josh Madama, Eddie Gordon, Johnny Case, Derek Brunson, Jorge Masvidal, Mackenzie Dern. I mean, the names go on. You know, John Wood. You know, what happened?
Damon Blackshear followed us the other day.
Nice.
Shout out to
you
Damon
got to
and
talk
his
about
win.
him there, Omar.
Yeah.
You got to talk about it because Carl kind of stuck his nose up at you and I being invited to go onto another podcast to actually
I'm jealous.
interview him. So
The fighter,
tell
the
people
writer,
about
and
it a
the
little
fans.
bit.
That
Yeah.
podcast is
Nice.
is tremendous,
Ty Hill,
Jency. Yep, and then they had Damon Blackshear on there, and he was a great interview. Very forthcoming, very frank, up and coming.
Jordan
I'll
Knight
definitely be
fucking
calling in that week.
Big kind of.
Yeah,
I'll call in that week, no question. But we're basically here up against it, guys. Again, had another fine show. I'm at the end of my first notebook officially for show prep, so I'm going to be moving on. I got a treat for us next week. We're going to do some comparisons here to the MMA, to the UFC divisions, as to where they stood when I first had my notebook as to compared to now. Just get some funny laughs at some of the rankings where guys used to be and where guys are now. But looks like we're at the end of our show. Kareem, you can go blow your nose and get that fucking
Don't
fix
try
for
not
next
to die.
week.
Kareem's at the end of that ball on the other end there. He's on the other
Definitely
end.
your brain is in your stomach at this point, bro. You've sucked up enough snot.
Please.
My brain has gone down through my stomach and has fallen out of my ass.
Jesus.
You definitely sound stuffed up, though. I'll give it to you. I feel bad for you.
I'm pretty
having a
fucked
tough time sleeping.
Was Felice joking?
He's choking his brain down right now. His throat,
That's
basically.
terrible. Good guy.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
Anyway, guys, make sure you go out and follow our social media and join the Facebook group 2 Minute Warning. But that's where we're going to end it today. For Tommy, for Omar, for Kareem, for the absent-minded Chris, absent-bodied Chris. He'll be back in a couple weeks. But we got Kareem. We got Kareem filling in, no problems. Kareem and the snot filling in. So I'm Carl, and we are the Pride Rules podcast presented by 2 Minute Warning. Catch you guys next week. Be back soon. Yeah.